Hello, hello, hello. Deutsch III. Yeah. So exam tomorrow. Over the chapter. I just want to go over a few things, just to kind of not necessarily to do a whole review, but just to tell you for sure what's going to be on the test. The biggest thing on the test is going to be something that's called two different things. It's called the future two, like Roman numeral two, Futur zwei, or it's also the exact same thing called the future perfect tense because it uses the perfect tense of the verb, like schreiben, it's going to use geschrieben or something like that. So that's the main thing. The other thing that'll be on the test, as you already have seen from the practice test, is vocabulary. And I noticed that on the PDF file that I sent to you, it seems like there's a lot of extra pages that I'm not sure what they're supposed to go for, but it's really a fairly, there's only a couple of things that I'm really testing on. Now, there'll be more questions than that are on the study guide. Obviously, that's just to kind of show you what I'm going to be focused on. But the main thing is this future two or futur zwei and or future perfect tense. I'm going to put it at the bottom so you don't forget. There you go, like a ticker. And then the other part of it's going to be the vocabulary. So I put on the my Kasha a combined Quizlet of all the Quizlets we've had for Chapter 3B. So please be sure you take a look at that because it's just been a while, right? I mean, it's been, we've been back not quite 3 weeks since spring break, but we were working on this chapter before spring break. So there's a lot of things to go back and look at, but it's all there, all the Quizlets, and then also all of the, the stuff in the book and the stuff that I've given you over Futur zwei. And then, as I just mentioned, then check the practice test and be sure that, you can do things the way it is. I'm going to go over a couple of other exercises, and one that we did as a homework assignment. I'm going to try to pull this up here. So give me just a minute here as I share the screen. All right. See if this works. Yeah. So you might remember this exercise, and I've tried to expand it a bit. Now let me hold on one second. I don't want to. Let me take down all of this so I don't block anything. Good. Okay. So here is an exercise we did, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago. We can just take a look at it and see. We get some good ideas. So the example is morgen diese Zeit. So that's a phrase that's coming in front of the subject and verb. Tomorrow at this time. Okay. That's why the verb and subject are inverted. The verb is first. Werde ich dir dein Geschenk bereits gegeben haben. So every sentence, it could be possibly in a phrase. It's possible it might come, but you're going to have, but this what I'm about to say is true. In every sentence, at some point, usually at the very end of the sentence, usually at the very end, but not necessarily always, you're going to have a past participle like gegeben. I'm kind of highlighting it there, gegeben. And I'm on this top one example. And then following it's going to be one of two words. I can't quite get it to. It's going to be haben or sein. If the verb is a sein verb, then it's going to be sein. Most verbs are haben verbs. So that's going to be haben. So here's some examples. We'll go through these. Ich blank eine Stunde Fußball. Here's an example where it's not going to all go to the end because it's got another clause coming after it. Wenn ich die Lust, if I lose interest or the desire to play. Wenn ich die Lust verliere. So we'd say ich werde. Got to know how to conjugate werden, and it's in the Quizlet. So I know it's been a little while. And the verb is spielen. Well, the past, that's a regular verb. Gespielt haben. Good. So I will have played an hour of soccer if Yeah, the sentence didn't make a whole lot of sense. If I lose my desire for it, if I lose my interest in it, maybe. Okay, kind of a weird sentence. But here's an example where this phrase did not go to the end, gespielt haben. It went to the end of the phrase, not the end of the whole sentence. Usually it's going to be at the end. I'm going to keep the sentences pretty simple. Here's another, like the example that begins with something that's not the subject or verb. We have morgen diese Zeit. Now I have in 3 Stunden. It's the same subject as here. Look, ich and ich, so same answer. Werde ich genug, and lernen becomes gelernt haben. Because I know that lernen is not a sein verb. It's going to go just like that. Here's another one with something in front of the subject and verb. In a year, in einem Jahr, this is Nummer 3. Subject is wir, so the full verb, werden wir alle Prüfungen, and then there's schreiben. I just mentioned that verb. So that's going to be geschrieben, and it's not a sein verb, it's a haben verb, haben. Yeah, in a year, I will have taken, that's how we try to translate it. Literally, it says, I will have written all of my tests. That's just the way Germans express this with tests. Sometimes they say it this way. Geschrieben haben. Okay. Then I have essen. Well, essen's not a sein verb, so we can know that for right now. Ihr, after the subject, or next to the subject, shouldn't say after, but next to the subject, it could be in front of it. Excuse me, is that form of werden. Ihr werdet bereits gegessen. So we need to know two important things. We need to know, well, three things. What verbs are sein verbs and haben verbs? The past participles in the Quizlet, and the forms of werden. So we're really putting together three things here with this future tense. Yeah, it's not the kind of tense you use in every sentence, but it's not an uncommon tense, right? You all will have already eaten when I get home. Wenn ich nach Hause komme. So it's a sein verb or haben verb. So we're going to put ihr werdet bereits gegessen haben. Good. Another one where this phrase participle and haben, gegessen haben was not at the end of the sentence because there was more to say after that phrase. Opa, we're talking about Opa, so we'll say Opa wird, because Opa is a he, she, or it. Wird morgen bereits, another one here, vergessen. Well, the past part, I don't know if we'll have that one because I don't think we've had that verb, but it's gegessen haben. Vergessen is a weird one. Vergessen stays vergessen as the past participle. Nächste Woche wirst du bereits dein neues Auto, and here kaufen becomes gekauft. Gekauft haben. Good. I'm going to go through a couple more of these, but I'm not going to keep typing just so you can see. Wenn du noch Durst, if you're still thirsty. Then, wirst du nicht genug, and here's trinken, getrunken haben. If you're still thirsty, then you will have not drunk enough. Yeah. Let's skip down to, here's one that's a sein verb, number 11, Nummer 11. Morgen diese Zeit. That sounds an awful lot like the example. Morgen diese Zeit. So that means that the verb werden is going to come in a different position. Morgen diese Zeit werden wir bereits in Berlin, and the past participle of ankommen is an plus ge plus the rest, angekommen, and it's a sein verb, so it's not going to have haben at the end, but sein. So no matter where it shows up, it's going to be past participle like angekommen, and then the full verb haben or sein. Haben, sein. So right behind the past participle, in this case, angekommen, we had earlier geschrieben, we had earlier gekauft, we had earlier gespielt. You're going to have haben or sein. Good. One more. because this one's also a sein verb. Werden, to become, is a sein verb. Meine Schwester. Well, here we're going to use werden as future tense. So that's a whole different use of it. Meine Schwester. So we're actually going to use werden twice in the sentence, or a form of it. Meine Schwester wird bereits 18. And the past participle of werden is geworden. And it's a sein verb. My sister will have already turned, we would probably say turned 18 when she gets her driver's license. Yeah. Had to be 18 to get a driver's license in Germany. Did I ever tell you that? Yeah, well, life's not fair. So I put a link to this exercise in an email that I sent to each of you. I think I did. Pretty sure. If I didn't, I will. Or I may have put it in my cache. So take a look and see if you see it there. I will double check that I did that, but it's not, I'm sorry, it's not an email. It's the wrong class. It's in the, it's in my cache. I think I put it on one of the links with information about the test. Okay, so I think that's a nice little, not necessarily a review. It's hard to have a good review under these circumstances. Listen, this is important that all of you know this. Two things. One is that I'm not out to, definitely not out to hurt anyone's grade or destroy anyone's transcript because of this situation we're going through right now. It's a weird, well, it's unparalleled. And, I've been, like I always tell you, I've been teaching for a long time. And, well, this is something I've never, ever seen before, ever. Obviously, we never have done before. So please just, study for the test. Study for it like you would any other test we've ever had. And it's not going to be a extremely hard test. Like, I'm just testing over two things: the future two, future perfect, and the vocabulary for this chapter. So that's really just those couple of things. So know that I'm not, I just want it to be a good assessment of kind of where we are, and that's it. Okay. Also, I know some teachers have had, what do you call it? Like a proctor, try to get a parent to proctor the test. And I think that's probably a good idea in some cases, but I'm not going to do that or ask you or require you to do it. I'm just going to send the test out to you. It'll either be in a doc or maybe a Google form. I've got it made up, but I need to decide how I'm going to format it. So, and what works best under these conditions. This is all new for me too. Like, I did use Google Form for my senior seminar class, and it seemed to work okay. But this, of course, is a little different for a language class. So we'll see. But anyway, my thing is, I'm not going to have you get a proctor or anything like that. But just be honorable. All right, just be honest, and obviously, I realize you have access to the entire world through your Chromebook, and could look up anything you want to look up. And I understand that. I know. But, I'd like to get a good idea of where we are. We will have more class, obviously, after we get done with this test. So things will move forward a little bit into chapter 4A. I really hope to get to the end of 4B this year. We were such on a good track. In fact, in all my 1, 2, and 3 level, we were on track to easily finish 4A and then 4B by the end of the year. And I've never have done it before, and I thought this is going to be the year we're going to get there. But okay, well, right, life has other plans. Okay, so be good and be honorable and be responsible for yourself on the test, and just study what you can and do the best you can, and you'll be fine. Okay, guys? So that's all I have to say. I'll post this video or I'll email it to you guys, probably both. And yeah, okay. Auf Wiedersehen, Kinder. Und I'll have the test emailed out to you in whatever form it's going to be in by class time tomorrow. Okay? Schön. Auf Wiedersehen. Bis morgen. Ciao. Ciao. Tschüss. Ciao.